Hi, this is Alchemist 2, and I'm back again with another book review. Well, I recently finished reading The Help, and to be honest, I think it is possibly the most extraordinary book that I have ever read. It is really moving and poignant, and I think it is very relevant to our times today. And I think that there were a lot of occurrences in the 60s and into the 70s in which colored maids took care of white children that were just left by the wayside by their parents. And these colored maids, they became the only child's true mother. And there was something in the very end of The Help that I thought was very intriguing. It was the whole sentence about relationships between white and colored people. And to be honest, I agree with her statement in the fact of the matter that there really is no difference. We all come from the same place and we all bleed the same color. So I think that there is much to be said for that, and I am happy to see that we've really come far. Of course, in some places in the South, they're still kind of closed-minded on this, and it's sort of sad to see that there are just a few people who think that race is an issue and that we're not all part of the same family. We're all human beings, and that is at the essence of what the book is all about. It's all about humanity and respect and caring for one another, and just how far words of kindness go, and how being courteous to one another is the best way to conduct oneself, and just respect. I just said that, respect for one's fellow man, and just realizing that we have to get along whether or not we agree with one another. If you just look beyond the cover, you might like what's inside the book, but I know this is probably very cliche of me to say that, but this book is extraordinary and I absolutely adore it, and I could not put it down the minute I picked it up. I just was devouring it word for word, and I'm really excited that in August there will be a movie that is based on the book itself. And I think that truth is stranger than fiction. I really believe that this sort of thing happened in the South quite a bit, and there are a lot of people that can attest to that. And I have actually grown up with black people, and I love them just as much as anybody else and consider them part of my extended family. I have no problem with that, and I see everybody as a human being. I see the world as a peaceful environment. I have few enemies. Actually, I have no enemies, but it's actually, there was a quote from one of my favorite people, Albert Einstein, who said, if you see the world as a hostile environment, then that is what it will become. But if you see your world as benevolent, then you are living in a friendly environment, and that will become manifest. Or I'm actually paraphrasing that, but it's true. It's all about perspective and how we treat other people. It's actually very important, and if we're all taught this from a very young age, I think that we can pass this down to our children and our children's children. And if children are just learned, if they learn about compassion, and I heard about this on Greg Braden's CDs, and I absolutely concur with this statement. But he says that if children learn compassion from the time that they are little, they will teach that compassion to other people. And I know it sounds so simple, but it's actually it's easier said than done with a lot of children, and it's all that nature versus nurture argument that you can get into. And I really think that it can be that simple, and that all it takes is just validation, affirmations, letting somebody know that what they're doing is appreciated. People like to be accepted, and this book is about that. And I know I'm getting very philosophical, but that in and of itself is extremely integral, I think. And I believe that we can learn so much from just this book alone, and if we pass this information on to others and just learn how to care, and how to think with our hearts more than try to reasoning with our minds. It's good to have both your mind engaged as well as your heart, and seeing the world in this manner. And I know I'm getting into a rather long dissertation about this, but I really sincerely believe that a lot can be accomplished through the harmonization of both the mind and the heart. And if you incorporate the spirit, it's also just a massive change in what you can do. There are mountains that you can move. You can change the world this way, and I believe that is what Miss Skeeter found out when she started writing down these women's tales, and how they helped their well, I don't know if you could call them owners, because this is the civil rights, so I guess you could call them employers to be more apropos, but I'm not really certain, since this is the 60s and there's still Jim Crow laws in effect. So I don't really know. I guess you could just say employers to be accurate. But as far as books are concerned, this is the absolute most fantastic, spectacular, inspirational, enlightening book that I have ever read. And it's even better than To Kill a Mockingbird. It's in the same vein as To Kill a Mockingbird, and I absolutely adored it. And if you have the chance to read it, then I would highly recommend it. There's some language in it, but it's it's understandable for that time and the situation. And then there is a little information in the end about Catherine. It's really quite fascinating, and you can see why she did it, and it's actually a dedication to the woman who raised her, and I just was so touched by that. And we could all learn from her experience, and just how absolutely marvelous this sort of agape is. And if we can just outpour love rather than hate, then I think that the world will be changed for the better. And I can see actually this new year unfolding as something like that, because I see more things happening, more spiritual elements unfolding, and excuse me, I just feel that it's going to be a better time, and I think that we're seeing more of this come to pass. So this is just the beginning, folks. So be prepared. I just highly recommend the book, and I think it's just nothing short of spectacular and astronomically important as far as books are concerned, and how it relates to us as a species. And definitely pick it up for the summer, because it's not a very long read at all. It's only 500 some pages, and you can read it in about a day or two. It took me longer because I've been in school, but I probably would have read it in 2 days had I not been studying and all that. But pick it up and read it, and I swear to you, it will change your life forever for the good.